The moving truck rumbled away, leaving me alone with a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. My new home stood before me, a Victorian beauty with a wraparound porch and a gambrel roof that hinted at stories whispered through time. It was everything I'd ever dreamed of, a place to plant roots, to belong. Little did I know, a nightmare waited in the shadows, ready to turn my dream into a living hell. The first few days were blissful. I unpacked boxes, familiarized myself with the quirks of the old house, and explored the quaint town. There was a bakery down the street with the aroma of fresh bread always wafting out its door. A bookstore on the corner promised literary adventures. Life felt full of promise, and I was eager to embrace it all. It was during my exploration of the neighborhood that I first encountered Mrs. Clementine, the seemingly harmless old woman who lived next door. She was tending her rose bushes, her frail frame bent over the vibrant blooms. Her smile, when she saw me, was as warm as the afternoon sun. "Welcome to the neighborhood, dear," she said, her voice a gentle tremor. "It's so nice to have a young person on the block." Over the next few weeks, Mrs. Clementine became a fixture in my life. She'd bring me freshly baked cookies, share stories of the town's history, and offer gardening advice. She was a wealth of knowledge and a comforting presence. I felt lucky to have such a kind neighbor, someone who seemed genuinely interested in my well-being. But as the days turned into weeks, I started noticing things, subtle oddities that sent shivers down my spine. Her gaze lingered a little too long, her eyes scanning my every move as if memorizing my routine. Her questions, though seemingly innocent, delved into the specifics of my work schedule, my social life, my comings and goings. And then there were the whispers. At night I'd hear muffled sounds through the wall we shared, hushed whispers that seemed to carry my name. I tried to rationalize these occurrences, telling myself it was just my imagination playing tricks on me in the unfamiliarity of a new place. But deep in my gut, a seed of unease had been sown. The whispers grew louder, the stares more intense, the questions more intrusive. I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was terribly wrong, that the kindly old widow next door harbored a dark secret. The truth hit me like a ton of bricks one evening when I returned home earlier than usual. As I pulled into my driveway, I noticed a light on in my bedroom window. My heart pounded in my chest. Had I forgotten to turn it off? Or was someone inside my house? Adrenaline surged through my veins as I fumbled for my keys, my mind racing with terrifying possibilities. With trembling hands, I unlocked the front door and crept inside. The house was eerily silent, the air thick with an unsettling stillness. As I cautiously made my way towards the bedroom, I heard a soft thud, followed by the unmistakable creak of a floorboard. Someone was in there. My breath caught in my throat, my fear reaching a fever pitch. This wasn't a case of forgetfulness. This was an intrusion, a violation of my sanctuary. Section 5. The Watcher. I threw open the bedroom door, my voice a strangled cry as I demanded to know who was there. And there she was, standing in the middle of my bedroom, her frail frame illuminated by the bedside lamp. It was Mrs. Clementine, her eyes wide with a mixture of guilt and defiance. Scattered on the bed were my personal belongings, my diary, photographs, letters, things I held dear, things that were not meant for her eyes. She stammered, trying to explain her presence, claiming she was just returning a borrowed book. But her words rang hollow, drowned out by the pounding of my heart and the sickening realization of her betrayal. The kindly old widow, the seemingly harmless neighbor, had been inside my home, going through my things, violating my privacy in the most unsettling way. Section 6. Seeking resolution. The police were called, a restraining order was filed, but the harassment didn't stop. My once peaceful haven had become a prison of fear. I was living on edge, constantly looking over my shoulder, jumping at every creak and groan of the old house. Sleep was a distant memory, replaced by a gnawing anxiety that clung to me like a shroud. The whispers through the wall continued, laced now with a venomous tone. My mailbox was vandalized, my plants uprooted. It was a campaign of terror designed to break me, to drive me from my home, but I refused to be bullied, to let her win. I would fight back, not with force but with something far more potent, my intellect. Section 7. Outsmarting the nightmare. I decided to fight fire with fire, to use Mrs. Clementine's own tactics against her. I installed security cameras, not just around my property but also facing her house. I started leaving my curtains open at night, playing loud music and hosting noisy gatherings. ensuring that any attempt to spy on me would be met with a wall of sound and light. The final blow came when I started spreading rumors, whispering tales of a haunted house and a vengeful spirit that plagued anyone who dared to cross its path. The rumors spread like wildfire through our small town, reaching Mrs. Clementine's ears with the speed of gossip on a windy day. The tables had turned. The fear that had consumed me now shifted to her, wrapping her in its icy grip. Section 8. Conclusion. The harassment stopped. The whispers ceased. The once menacing presence next door retreated into the shadows, consumed by the fear it had sown. I had won, but the victory was bittersweet. The ordeal had left an indelible mark, a reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places, disguised as fragility and innocence. As I sit on my porch, sipping my morning coffee, I can't help but wonder about the true nature of the woman next door. Was she driven by madness, by loneliness, or by something far more sinister? The answer, like the secrets held within the walls of our old houses, may never be fully known. But one thing is certain. I learned that sometimes, the most terrifying monsters don't lurk in the shadows. They reside in plain sight, their true faces hidden